I always have my voice on.
Hello, Ruthless Nation, and here it is, the finale of Season 2. It's going to be the championship race here for the Ruthless Pro Series. A little different here on the air to start the night. We're going to have the Championship 4 in here. Tonight, I'm going to have special guest, DB the Best, in the booth with me, co-commentating as the Pro Series take on the last race of the season at Auto Club. But without further ado, we'll get into these interviews. Um, the Championship 4 for the Pro Series is going to be typical Henson, Shepherd, and Hollywood. And starting off with the interviews will be Hollywood. How you doing, Hollywood?
I'm doing good, buddy. How about yourself?
Doing good. And I want to properly give DB a warm welcome. Welcome him to the booth, DB. Glad that you joined me here tonight.
I appreciate you having me in here.
Yeah, greatly appreciate that. And so Hollywood, tonight is where it all comes to a head right here at Auto Club in Fontana. And, as the season went on, we had a lot of moments. Unfortunately, you never got that victory, but you still got yourself here into the Ruthless 4 to fight for the championship. Speaking of those moments in Season 2, what do you remember most about Season 2 to this point?
I mean, just the close battles that a lot of us had at some of these racetracks and getting down to the final laps where we had really close finishes. Michigan and Chicagoland come to mind. It's kind of been a long grind. We've been at it in Season 2 for a little bit, but I'd say those are the most memorable for me. There's been a lot of moments throughout the season, though, and just having a lot of fun with the guys that race in this league. Week to week, it's been a lot of fun.
Well, which will bring me to my next question. A combination of things that go on racing is the weaknesses and strengths of a driver. What are the weaknesses and what are some of the strengths that you feel that you've worked on or leaned on to get yourself here?
I felt like my weakness throughout the season was mainly just being consistent lap to lap. I think I've gotten a little better at that throughout the season, though. But yeah, just finding that consistency to run the same line, every single lap and get those lap times down. That was huge throughout the season. Some of the strengths, I felt like I had pretty good cars every week. I feel like this season of Ruthless Racing was probably the best year the best season on this game that I've had with setups. Some of the setups at times I think were a little bit better than the driver. But in general, too, that comes from, having good teammates and people that'll work on the setups with you, too. So that was a huge strength that helped me out a lot this year.
Yeah, definitely, being consistent with those good cars was a big part of, making it here. DB, you got anything for Hollywood?
How do you feel about your chances tonight for winning this championship?
Felt pretty good. I've worked on the car a little bit. I think it's dialed in. It's going to be a lot of drafting and maneuverability in the draft. Your car's going to have to handle good behind people, and you just got to know when to push and when to kind of save it and take it easy. So
Yeah.
Looking forward to that tonight and getting in this race with everybody. One last thing for me, I want to shout out Typical, regardless of what happens tonight, bro. Hell of a season. I know this format comes all down to one race, but he's been the guy all season. So no matter what happens tonight, hell of a job, buddy. But I'm gonna go ahead and go over to the other chat and let you guys finish up and get those guys ready. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Hollywood. Good luck tonight.
Good luck, Hollywood.
All right, so next we'll move on up to Shepherd. driving that 48 car. Been on quite the hot streak for the last month here in this Pro Series, and that has carried you through the playoffs to this moment, and that is being a part of the Ruthless Four. Now with the chance to win it all, and voted amongst the drivers in the Discord server the most likely to win the championship. Now, a lot of people might see that as an upset or unlikely, you know, or an unlikely situation maybe. But for you, I feel like you've been on the hot streak, deserve the respect. How do you feel? Uh, the just the path to the playoffs has been for you, and do you think that momentum is carried over to this race tonight?
I definitely would say I feel like that momentum has been building up. I felt like I had a couple misses here and there, but I feel like I tuned up the car as best as I can, and I just want to keep that consistency going into this race. Keep the car clean, keep the equipment fresh, and just hopefully put the car where it needs to be at the end of the runs. Just to nab that not only first win but also that first championship too. So I'm just hoping, praying, and just trying to have a clean race.
I hear you there. I mean, it's all about keeping that nose clean and being in the right spot there at the end. Like Hollywood said, this format all comes down to this one race between you four guys, and you four guys are deserving. You look at Hollywood's consistency all season. You look at your, late season heroics to get here, and then just typical is just typical. And then Henson, he's basically finishing second in most of these races throughout the year. So, these guys, all you deserve to be here. And speaking on that, just for season two as a whole, we're trying to just ask everybody, what was your most memorable moment?
Ooh, most memorable moment of this season would definitely have to be, I would say definitely two moments would have been the Daytona 500, very first race. All that hectic racing with the Gen 6 and coming to the wire, I really felt like, with that last wreck that happened, I could have, at least got a second or probably a first place out there. Wreck, we got caught up, but it was still a very fun race, very interesting. And second memorable moment would have to be when we ran the Gen 7 at Miami. Definitely a highlight year for me running that track. Top lane was running, bottom lane was running, and I think that was the race where also I was able to witness a close finish between, I think it was Typical and Henson. I can't remember, but still, those are my two races, the 500 in Miami.
Hey, those were definitely memorable ones. That Miami race being the first next gen league race, I'm pretty sure. Just on
Hmm.
top of that, same day, pretty much that the update came out, we ran that. So yeah, DB, you got anything to ask Shepard before we let him go?
Yeah, Shepard, my question for you, were you surprised at all that you are the people's favorite going into this championship tonight?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. I'm not gonna lie to you there. It did surprise me a little bit because seeing how so many people, regardless of if they know my name or not, it's still just kind of surprising. Like, hey, this guy right here, let's go ahead and pick him because some people probably seen the little hot streak I've been on, so they're like, hey, he probably has the momentum to do what needs to get done in this final race. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna try to put on a show, definitely, regardless. I'm gonna just get out there, have fun, and hopefully put the car where it needs to be and impress everybody.
Hey, it sounds like a good formula to get it done, my man. Good luck out there, and I wish all of you could win, but it just don't work that way. But best of luck.
All right, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good luck tonight, Shepard.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, now we'll move on over to Henson, driver of the 18, M&M's car. Um, Henson,
Going home, Stu.
I'm sure you're not surprised that you're here, and I don't think anyone else is either. But one win in the bag for the season. that gets you in the playoffs, but you also have to work a little bit. But it seemed like you kindly breezed through there, you and DB at Dega. You could have really punched the ticket, but obviously I don't think you were ever worried about not being here at Auto Club racing for the hardware. And I feel like we see a lot of strengths. 1 second. Nah, we got something going on. I gotta fix it real quick. All right, we are back. Sorry once again. I guess the brother and sisters are still fornicating and having children, so we're gonna have to go to full screen. And back to what I was talking with Ensign. No big surprise that you're here. Now that you're here, what do you feel like you're gonna have to lean on most in your bag to get that championship to be yours?
Well, one is, definitely consistency, but strategy is huge. It's hard to beat. It's very difficult enough to keep up with Typical as it is, but he's really good on pit strategy. So pit strategy and consistency will more than likely get it done. Just hope I have enough of both.
Yeah, DB, if you don't mind, just ask Henson whatever you feel like's appropriate.
No problem. I'll hop in here. What's up, Hedson? So I know you saw a lot of me last week. I guess the question I wanted to ask you was, have you worked on your side drafting at all this week?
Yeah, I have. I figured it out majority for the most part, anyways. Side drafting is pretty difficult. These cars pick up a lot of side draft. It's not really the fact that it's hard to do. You don't want to lean on the car beside you a lot. If you hit their quarter, gonna check both of y'all up. So it's really not what you want to do. You just kind of want to get right up against them. But yeah, I'm confident in it now.
Well, I'm glad you're a little bit more confident, because that is definitely an art that you need to perfect in this type of racing, especially at a track like this. You're going to want to be able to use the side draft as much as you can. So I wish you luck tonight, man. We all know you deserve to be here, and good luck for tonight's race.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. All right, and the final driver that we're going to bring in here for tonight is Typical. Typical, how you doing tonight, man?
Good, man. How are you?
I've been good. Now, I think everybody in here is well aware of who you are and what you've been doing this season. Let me just make sure I got this number correctly. I believe you've won 11 races this season. Is that right?
14.
14. Okay. I got the number wrong. Just kidding. You got 14 wins this season. So let me ask you this. Going into tonight's race, I mean, is anything less than a win going to be a disappointment for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm only here for one reason. That's to win, man. I
I
worked
mean,
hard all season to get where I'm at, and hopefully that's what sealed the deal, man.
that's completely understandable. And I mean, once you get used to winning, it's hard to accept anything else. We're expecting a great battle tonight between you guys. Who do you think your biggest competition is going to be for this championship tonight?
I think all three of them are going to be big competition because they're all going to be racing as hard as they can, and I don't expect nothing less than that. So I don't really got one. I got to worry about all three of them.
Yeah, and at a track like this with the draft, it's anybody's race really. So I don't want to drag these interviews out for too long, and it's getting probably about that time, and we should get starting some racing. So I'm going to wrap this up here and wish you guys all good luck, and let's get this thing rolling tonight and have a good race.
Yes, sir. Let's get to it.
Hey, good luck, guys. Yeah. For the moment, I think I got everything figured out. But, um, yeah, sorry about the cousin fucking people that get into my streams. But without further ado, Typical's going for back-to-back championships here in the Ruthless Pro Series, so we'll see if he's able to get that done. Right now, it's really just a talk between us as they get to
Well, hopefully we can
qualify.
keep these inbred redneck babies out of the chat while we are getting this race started up, because we don't need any more of that this week.
I'm telling you, something else.
Somebody must be really angry with Ruthless Racing or something, that they're just trying to start problems.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like someone's just a little salty somewhere. But that's fine, you know. The only bad part about it is it deletes it on the YouTube. Like, I have the stuff filtered out that they're trying to say.
Hmm.
It's just it still gets it on the screen because it doesn't delete it from what it's feeding onto the TV.
Yeah, I saw it was happening last week when I went back and watched the stream.
Yeah, unreal. But anybody who's joining us for the first time, Kraken Racing, thank you for joining. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. If it's your first race, let me tell you, you have missed out on some good ones, and I expect no different from this one. Um, Anybody that's out there in the live chat right now, who do you think's going to win the Ruthless Pro Championship? Who is going to be the most ruthless of them all tonight right here at Auto Club? Your choices are Typical, 14-time winner this season, Henson, one-time winner, Hollywood, just a consistent driver throughout the season, and Shepard with his late season hot streak getting himself here into the Final Four. So let us know in the comments who you think's going to win this championship out of those four drivers. It's the highest finisher is who will be the champion here tonight. So and maybe something else to look forward to is we could have dual burnouts, two burnouts going on the track tonight with the race winner and whoever is crowned the champion. I know that's something that's probably not happened out here in Heat 5 world. But, so I'm interested. Try to see what goes
Yeah.
down tonight.
No, I don't think they practice doing their burnouts together, so I'm kind of curious how that's going to coordinate once they figure out that the person who won the championship and the person who won the race are going to try to do burnouts at the same time.
Yeah, that would, I'd like to see how that would work out. Alright, make sure they should be getting...
I think they're getting ready to go in the queue. I'm going to have JWoww stream pulled up during the race so I can keep track of the laps and what's going on from a different view.
Alright, awesome. I mean, yeah, if you want to keep a look on all that, that would help me tremendously. I could keep an eye on the chat.
Yeah, you might need to do that after how it's been the last 2 weeks.
Man, I'm telling you. Crazy.
I'm excited for this race tonight. I'm a little disappointed, to be honest with you, because Auto Club's one of my favorite tracks, and I would prefer to be a driver, but I got to take care of my health a little bit too, so I'm trying to be smart for a week or two here.
Oh, yeah.
But man, this track is so much fun, especially these next-gen cars. I mean, I kind of don't like the fact that you can just ride it wide open pretty much the whole way around, but there's so many lanes. You can drive down on the apron here in 3 and 4 now with these next-gen cars. It's definitely fun.
Auto Club, it's definitely a very draft-heavy track, very fast track. A lot of people like to compare it to Michigan. And just like you said, there's driving all over this track. Yeah, I mean, don't be surprised to see people 3 wide, especially if we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, you get a late restart or something, seeing 4 wide out here. I mean, Auto Club is capable of that, especially down the front stretch. And, yeah, could see some cars eat some dirt down that home stretch tonight. Some John Deere lawn care going.
I would not be surprised. And I was doing some runs with some of the guys the last few days for qualifying. I think we should be expecting somewhere around 38.9s for a pole time, possibly a high 38.8 if somebody gets their car really hooked up.
Yeah, I would imagine that's what we'd be looking at as well. About how far are we out from qualifying, you think?
I would like to think they started, but I don't really, I don't know because JWoww told me he's not starting to stream till after qualifying, so it's not up yet.
All right, cool. So I know sometimes whenever we're in a situation like this, Hollywood will send me an invite to watch qualifying, so we'll see if we get that tonight.
I can send out a message and find out if it started or not.
While we do that, I'm going to fix my notifications so they don't block out my screen. All right, good
Definitely.
question. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. What was the question?
The question was which cars are the championship for drivers? Like which numbers are they in? And typical is in the 5 Kyle Larson car. Henson drives the 18 Kyle Busch car on here, as it is. Shepard drives the 48 Bowman car, and Hollywood drives the 14 Briscoe car. So there you go. That's the drivers and their numbers. Most people are picking typical. We do have a Henson in there, so the stream crowd is leaning towards more of the race favorites that they've been throughout
Yeah.
the season.
Well, I know that Typical is probably the odds-on favorite to win because of how many times he's won this season. But the person I'm actually watching tonight is Hollywood, and that's because he pulled off a win last night in FTR, and I'm thinking that might have gave him a little bit of confidence coming into the race tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Ruthless finishing 1-2 over there last night between him and Typical. It was literally down to the nose. Just as close to some of those finishes we've had here the past few weeks. And Hollywood able to pull out that long one last night over at Chicagoland, I believe. And
Yes.
yeah, so good for Hollywood. He'd actually been on a little bit of a dry streak, dry spell, if you will, and winning a points league race. And last night he breaks that streak, gets back into the victory lane, and then tonight, he could go for back-to-back days in 2 different leagues, but this one's got more implications attached to it than the other. As tonight, he would be the Ruthless champion in a league that, he owns as much as he runs in. So it would be something.
Yeah, it's crazy what a little bit of confidence can do for you, though, because I've been in little droughts myself before, and then once you get one win, it's a lot easier to get another one.
Yeah, and not to go without mentioning either, last night that race was in the 2020 version car. So he would be going for back-to-back wins, back-to-back days, and 2 different cars, which would be even more impressive.
Yeah, I would compare that to basically running like the Xfinity and NASCAR races for the weekend and sweeping the weekend.
Yeah, something like that, for sure. This is the Ruthless Racing Pro Series, going to be live right here on the Ruthless Racing YouTube channel, PS4, PS5.
And I'm pretty positive qualifying is going on because JWoww has not messaged me back since my last message, so I'm thinking they're probably in the middle of qualifying.
Crazy, crazy. It's interesting how we take the comments off the screen and all the bullshit stops.
Oh, they know what they're doing. I'm sure they're watching the stream, making sure the comments are popping up on there just to cause a problem.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people on the internet that don't have anything better to do with their time, and I don't know what exactly they're doing with their lives, but I can't imagine it's anything good.
It's probably not productive. Certainly not as productive as watching Ruthless Racing on YouTube.
Yeah, that's a much more enjoyable thing to watch.
So we gained, let's see, gained a
Yeah.
couple subscribers since we went live. Congratulations to us. And congratulations to you for being subbed to the best racing YouTube channel out there.
I know I should probably know the answer to this, but who ended up winning the diecast giveaway last week?
We had Mountain Dew Modeling and 24 Racing Fan win. 24 Racing Fan been around a little bit, so I'm glad he was able to get a hold of one. So that was pretty awesome. And Mountain Dew Modeling, I don't know if they just came through with the giveaway, promotions or whatever, but I hadn't really seen them a whole lot. But yeah, that's who won the diecast, and like I said, I'm glad a fan was able to get one. Like somebody had been around a minute.
Yeah, I guess the other person they got lucky got in at the right time.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Kraken Racing, yeah, we occasionally do diecast giveaways. You come into the live stream, you comment your YouTube username, you got to be subscribed, and then you go into a drawing for a free NASCAR diecast provided by us, free of charge. And we have had 4 winners so far, and we will be hosting our next diecast giveaway, as I know it, on Labor Day during it's a Dash for Cash or something like that, right? Cash grab race, I think. That we'll be
Ah, yes,
hosting right
yeah.
here. Yeah. That will be hosting right here on the Ruthless Racing YouTube channel. And that will be put on by DB and Henson. So, yeah. That's when the next diecast giveaway will be going down.
Now, do you guys have like a specific diecast that you give away, or do you have like a collection of them to pick from?
So Hollywood has the diecast, and that video we posted, it has he has like a good variety pot, but that's what we kind of did the first time. This time he had like the first winner could win one of 2 really awesome Chase Elliott diecast, and then the
Hmm.
second winner got to choose out of the variety lot that he had.
I hate to know how much money I destroyed when I was a kid getting diecast cars that I just took out the packages and played with. Like, I have so many messed up diecast cars just sitting in piles in different places.
Mm. Yeah, I used to have those, the small ones, the 124s, or is that what they
Yeah.
are? Yeah, and yeah, man, so many of those I could have just had, like totes full probably, that I've just took out in the dirt and was like, boom, bang, these ones crashed.
The big one, a dang it.
Yeah, and I just throw one right into the hillside.
Yeah, it's
Oh
funny as a
no, a
kid,
terrible wreck.
your version of racing was never clean. It was always just that one
Yeah,
car destroying the other into the wall.
it's just like what they're supposed to, do a lot of laps before they wreck.
Yeah,
It's like
no, you get
caution,
about
caution.
one, and then it's like, boom, I'm faster than you.
All right, so check out some others. Check out, see if anybody else is live streaming at the moment.
I'm still waiting on Jay Wells to go up here. Oh, wow, he just said now they're almost finished Q. How the hell long is qualifying?
All right, we're in for one tonight, folks. It's going to be the Ruthless Racing Pro Championship. And it's going to be, we're going to label this one the Championship 200 right here at the Club de Auto, Fontana, California.
I can't believe that NASCAR's getting rid of this track. That's so depressing.
I'm telling you, it's such a good track. One of my favorites, really. That, Auto Club in Atlanta, and they've changed them both. That was like my 2 favorite tracks. Just insane that they got them
Yeah,
both.
they ruined Atlanta, and they just completely got rid of Auto Club. Are they still turning it into a short track? Is that the plan?
I think they're going to do it like Bristol style, racing.
Oh,
So
they're gonna make it a dirt track.
no, but I hear you. I think they're actually going to get rid of that spring dirt race here. That they may just replace the spring race at Bristol altogether with some of these revival tracks that are popping up, throughout North Carolina, Southwest Virginia, stuff like that.
Speaking of a dirt track, you imagine if they put dirt all over Rockingham? I feel like that would be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, that honestly might be.
I doubt they'd do that though.
A word we got typical.
Oh, I just got an invite from JWoww.
All right, cool. Now we're just gonna wait on the that join message eventually.
That's the invite from Hollywood.
All right.
Streamers now.
For anybody wondering, this is going to be a 100-lap event with the usual relax cautions and manual cautions. Just discretion by Hollywood, and we're getting the join message.
Did you get the join message?
Yeah, he texted me. All right, here we go. This is for all the marbles. Tonight we decided who will be crowned the most ruthless of them all. Can Typical remain dominant, become back-to-back Ruthless Pro Series champion, or will Henson spoil his awesome season for his own chance at some hardware on his shelf? Or could Hollywood see himself as owner and champion on the resume? Or maybe Shepard could stay on this recent hot streak, do the unthinkable. It's all about to go down. It's the Ruthless 4 Championship from Club Day Auto in Fontana, California. This is for who will be the most ruthless of them all, with Typical on the pole, followed by Henson, Hollywood taking up third, and it looks like Billy is going to be in fourth.
Here we go.
Yeah, first laps of the Championship 4 race from Auto Club right here on the Ruthless Racing YouTube channel.
Yeah, now I'm expecting the beginning of this first 2 stages, they're probably just going to be riding for the most part. I mean, these stage points don't mean anything tonight. It's the 3rd stage that this all comes down to, which means green flag pit stops are probably going to be the biggest key. So what's the chances of one of these 4 take themselves out with a speeding penalty, you think?
I'd say the chances are high, especially with the nerves going to be up there. Looks like Shepard, he is around 7th position right now. Hold on one second, I gotta fix my audio.
In front of him, so he shouldn't have a problem keeping up here as long as he doesn't make any mistakes.
Yeah, certainly these guys are already trying to figure it out in the single file action. Still scattered brain throughout the rear of the field, but nothing too bad. And how many laps are we looking at here in this first stage?
We got 29 laps here in the first stage. I'm pretty sure they got to do 2 pit stops because the fuel window was 14 laps. I would expect no tires and no fuel for the second stop.
All right, 3 of your Championship 4 are in the top 3, and that is going to be Typical, Henson, Hollywood in that order. Shepard, the 4th Championship contender, is finding himself, he's moving up the field quite nicely right now, still in 7th. Just a mistake from one of these guys in front of him. It'll be easy pickings to move on up through the field here.
Yeah, we're starting to get some guys dropping out of the draft here towards the back of the field. The 9-car Dunlap Racing, G-Dog, Monkey Mock. They formed a little pack about a second behind the main group here, and then there's 2 other guys that fell all the way out, NASCAR Rillo and Smitty. They're going to have a little trouble trying to catch back up this first stage without that draft.
Yeah, so we're starting to see a little bit of a two-line deal go on up front here. Actually, Cork just gets left to the outside for a moment. It's going to allow Shepard to move up maybe a little bit. Don't know. Still leaving too much room there for old Cork.
That top lane's going to be moving, and the three guys up there are all fast, so I got a feeling they're about to blow the doors off this bottom lane.
All right, we're 3 wide up here for second place. It's going to be Billy to the inside, trying to take the lead. Typical all the way to the outside. Got Henson working on his bumper. Hollywood up to second. Still 3 wide back here.
Made some contact there.
Now Hollywood finds himself stranded all the way to the outside. Going to lose the most positions. Biggest loser here on this move will be the 14.
And Shepard's the biggest winner because now he's battling for third and then first out of the final 4.
That's exactly right. Correction, actually. Biggest loser, Typical. He moves all the way back to 7th. All right, Hollywood now working for 4th place. Shepard settles into 5th place. Henson still working down on the door inside of JWoww now in the 23.
JWoww's got no help up there. Oh, Billy slid up to give him some draft. Wow.
All right, Speed Clinic. You know, of Billy there. He knows that the top lane does have quite the momentum. You got to be back down in that corner there for turn 1. You see Henson and Hollywood working a duo kind of deal out here on the bottom side. Everybody going to leave Billy out to dry for the moment, but he will have that preferred line down the backstretch. Henson now to the lead with Hollywood working.
I'm a little surprised how racy everyone's being right now. I kind of thought they would have been content with just riding at least until this first pit stop, but they are taking turns going for this lead here.
That's right. Been, I believe, 4 lead changes here already, so interesting.
And there's been a lot more changing between the final 4, which I don't know if Typical's in the back just saving fuel right now. He seems to be content with just riding in the back of this pack, though.
I'm sure he doesn't want to be a part of all this, race. Oh, see, Hollywood gets loose down to the inside. He's going to work himself back up there to 4th position, maybe work back up to the high side.
This is going to be an interesting battle tonight because it looks like, in terms of speed, everybody's fairly equal here as long as you stay with each other in the draft. So, I mean, it's just going to come down to making the right move at the right time and being able to block people when you need to.
That's right. And we look off the nose of Hollywood. He's out on the outside here, coming out of 2. Already got loose out of here just a lap ago. Shepard, though, is going to work behind him.
BK Brown, and he just lost the draft to that front pack.
I'm going to flip back here. We got a pack of 3. It's Monkey Mach 4, G-Dog, and who's in the 9?
Oh, that was a lag. That's not good.
Got Dunlap back there in the 9. Alex in the 99 here, working himself up to this front bunch. A lot of racing between them has allowed some of the guys to get back into contention here, and you know, Alex being one of those guys, snuck right up here, got up with him.
I can't see the lap count because JWoww's got his fuel up, but he's got 5 laps of fuel left, so I'm assuming they're either on lap 9 or 10 right now. They should only be getting about 14 laps, and I was having trouble even making it 14, so it might even be a little less than that.
All right now as it sits, got Henson riding first, Billy behind him there in the 78, Hollywood in 3rd, Shepard rounds up to 4th, and then JWoww now rounding up the top 5 in 5th. As DB just said, pit stops going to happen very soon. Going to have to be 2 pit stops here. Hollywood looking to the inside for turns 3 and 4.
Typical is falling off the back of this front pack here.
You know, historically, I feel like Auto Club has not been that great of a race for Typical overall, or great of a track. You know, just in general. Obviously, you never doubt him. You never count him out. But, you know, sometimes if you're just not good at a track, or you just don't like a track, or how it runs you, or whatever, you know, you're just going to struggle there. You see it on here, you see it in the real Cup Series. It just happens. But
Yeah.
like I said, he's not one that you can just count out because he's
No, and
got a lot of laps to figure us out.
I don't think his car's struggling necessarily. From what I saw, I think there might have been a lag with DK. That's why the three of those guys kind of got knocked off the back there like that. I think that's what separated these guys a little bit. Oh, DK's lagging again. What is going on? His car just keeps coming to a stop on my screen. And now he's back above typical.
You get on board with DK here. I'll be honest with you, he's not even on my screen.
He's invisible on your screen?
He's not even on here.
Him and typical are like bumper to bumper right now. He's right behind typical.
What number is he?
8.
Oh, that's Court Mob.
Oh, that's Court Mob. Oh, why did I think that was DK? What number is DK?
I don't think he's
Did
out.
he not run? Oh.
Here comes the pit
that's my
stops.
mistake.
All good. You had me tripping for a second. Looks like Henson's going to have to come down to get his service. A lot of guys.
Meanwhile, JY just passed Billy for the lead.
Yeah, that's right. JY took over the lead with Hollywood in second. Looks like Shepard is signaling that he will pit this time. JY, I believe, also signaling for the pit. We'll see. We'll see who decides to go here. I imagine just about anybody left would go.
JY's got one lap of fuel here. I don't think he's got a choice.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's going to come in that is left. Maybe everybody got in there cleanly. We'll get back around to Henson. This is one of those, tracks. It's not a super speedway, but when the pitting cycles and stuff, they kind of work that way, the way a super speedway would. Pitting 2 laps late on somebody at a track like this is not that beneficial.
Henson got a big gap on the cars behind him that came out of the pit, so I'm assuming he's going to come out as the leader once this comes around.
We'll watch for that cycle. What's up, C-Fan, Heavy Duty Gaming? Appreciate everybody tuning in here. This is your Ruthless Pro Series Championship race. And right now, the first stage green flag pit stops are taking place. You see Henson running up on the cars that had took the second lap pit. And he's going to have quite the gap on these guys. Hollywood going to cycle back out kind of right there. Him and JWoww are going to have each other to lean on as Henson will take the lead off the momentum. Now, those guys are going to have that lap fresher tire. We'll see how this is going to work out. Another pit stop in the future in this stage. How many laps do we have remaining?
I can't see. He's still got his fuel up right now, but it says 14 laps of fuel. I would assume we got about 15 laps left right now because they're going to have to pit again here.
We're at 14 to go. Back to
typical. If these guys, I don't know how much time Henson's going to be losing here the first few laps, but once they get about 5 laps into this run, they're going to want one of those guys with the fresher tires out front. Hollywood's realizing that now, or at least looked like he was trying to dive under him.
All right, so Henson remains your leader right now. Hollywood with a little damage on that nose. Not sure where that came from. But he is running second. So I have JWoww with the third place here. And right now, not looking good for these guys that aren't up here with these three, because those guys are, those three are running together quite nicely. It's going to be hard to contend with because there's just 3 cars working behind them.
Yeah, I don't think Typical and Shepard will be too concerned with the first stage here because they'll all get caught back up after the stage end, and these points don't mean anything. So even if they don't catch them, it's not going to kill them.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Basically, you just want to stay on the lead lap for these first 2 stages. Really, there is no implication to winning or losing these first 2 stages. It only matters who's going to cross that line at lap 199. So we can see who burns out. Looking at Hollywood in the front 3 here right now.
Is it just me, or does it look like this front 3 is pulling away from that second 3?
That's what I'm saying. These guys are kind of working together to just throw themselves out here away from competition. Give themselves quite the gap for the next pit stop, I assume. Henson, he had such a much larger gap on all the other cars that he pit with. I know that a lot of those guys that pit on the same lap as him were kind of a little further back, and he pit from the lead. But, maybe he went with some kind of tire strategy already. Maybe he's running the shorter run now.
I think he might have just been a little shorter on fuel because he was running a higher gear. Felt like he needed to hit that lap earlier. They are really pulling a gap. They're up to almost 3 seconds now. Like, he's got the gap up on his stream here.
Yeah, you can see those three in the back. As I mentioned, it was going to be hard for them just being 3 cars to catch the 3 with the clean air. And, these guys just working together. They are absolutely moving. We'll do a quick flip through the field here. You look at the second group led by Billy, Shepard, and then Typical in there with them. Look at Court Mob. He is on pit road. Dunlap runs alone. So does Alex and G-Dog here running as a pair for now. Monkey Mach 4 also alone on the track along with Smitty and Nascarillo.
Brings us back. You get lonely out here after the pit stop sometimes.
That can happen to you. And now we're back on board with Henson in the front 3, as these guys are absolutely putting some racetrack between them and 4th place.
But the second group just picked up a 4th car. If Typical can pull Cork back up to Billy and Shepard here. Oh, they're pitting. Billy and Typical are pitting.
I imagine somebody would do that as we got to, finishing range. Go in, take a whatever, and you could make it. Right now, looking like about 8 laps to go.
Henson is signaling that he's pitting. Hollywood just passed him for the lead. Interesting strategies here.
Door to door for the lead with Henson going to go on pit road. Hollywood will choose to stay out with JWoww as they continue. Hollywood, your new leader on the second pit cycle of the day.
Now, I'm assuming most of these guys, or all of these guys, are taking no tires, especially with them pitting this early. The benefit of hitting that early is that way when you come out, your tires aren't super old and super slick trying to drive on the apron down there out the tube, because if you go out on really old left side tires, you're going to wreck as soon as you come out of the pits.
Yeah, and, I don't think Hollywood's going to take her down pit road this time. He's going to have a little bit of advantage here, I think, especially if he can get up here and lap some of these guys that came out of the pits. He'll have, quite the gap to come back around and maybe retain the lead. Because, this whole time he's had JWoww on his rear bumper. It's not like he's been out here running alone.
No, I think these guys are running it dry, and they're just going to pit when they're down on fuel. Because he's got 5 laps of fuel left here.
Hollywood moves to the inside like he may pit, but we'll check it out here. You can see a lot of cars. That's Hollywood, your leader, and a lot of cars are out here in front of him. He is going to go down pit road right now. That's honestly, I think, a really good move by him. If he didn't get caught speeding, that looked a little hot.
If JWoww can catch one of these cars in front of him and get some draft, that would be really huge for him.
Oh, we got one wrecked out here at the end of pit or somewhere. Oh, out of turn 4, Cork Mob. So he's going to try. He's going to try to get it going again. Get on board here with JWoww. He is the leader, and just pending his second pit stop of stage number 1, continues to turn some laps. As you can see, all those cars ahead of him.
Only car that has not pitted yet. I'm waiting for Hollywood's gap to balance out. It looks like Hollywood's going to be second, Henson's third, Speed Clinic's fourth, and Typical's fifth. after the pit stops.
That's exactly right. We got a lot of people joining us here this evening. Got Animal in the house. Thanks for joining us. Innotown has shown up. He chugged a beer.
Oh, I just got a flash of the lap count. JWoww's on 26 of 29. So when he crosses the line here, it's going to be 27. So he's got to pit this lap.
That's right. He does have to pit this lap, and I would imagine he's just going to go for the splash and go and see if he can win this stage.
He's got 33.5 seconds back to Hollywood, so he's got to get in and out of the pits pretty quick here.
All right, so we should be seeing the 23 car go down right now as so. Going to be quite the battle here. Back to Hollywood, who will be cycled through as the leader. As we catch him coming out of 2. Coming down the backstretch. It's going to be close. Hollywood running alone off this pit cycle. Don't think. What's it looking like for the 23 on pit road?
Half a can, no tires. He's just getting into his box now. They're throwing the fuel in. 3.2 second stop, and he's out. And it looks like Hollywood's probably going to pass him.
All right, we got him on the apron here. He is. Hollywood is coming in hot. I think we got 2 to go right here in stage number 1. Hollywood's getting tight out of 2. JWoww is going to be up to speed, but he is on the the older tires, as well as anyone else. Hollywood, with the momentum, is able to get by for the moment and regain the lead here late in stage number 1. As we come back around to the line, it will be 1 to go in stage number 1. Man, looked real tight off of 4 there for Hollywood.
Yeah.
All right, so here is the battle for the stage. One of the championship contenders is the leader.
Is Cork Mob going to battle here to try to stay on the lead lap, or is he going to just let him go?
This is an interesting call here. I think he's just going to let him have it. All right, Hollywood dives it down into 3 and 4 one more time here in stage number 1. A championship 4 contender looking to win the stage 1 here at Auto Club. And that's what it'll be. It'll be Hollywood taking home the win in stage number 1 here from Auto Club in your Ruthless Pro Series championship race. And JWoww finishing right behind him. I believe Henson came into 3rd place.
I mean, I'll tell you what, I told you a win can do a lot for you, and so far Hollywood's probably looking the strongest out of the 4 with, I mean, Henson looked like he's got a good car too. Typical, surprisingly, was struggling. I saw him make a couple mistakes during that first run there.
I believe Typical finishes up in the top 5. I believe Shepard finishes in 7th, which he ran there quite a bit throughout the first stage. But nonetheless, this stage break brought to you by SKU Car, as we will bring you more championship action right here on the Ruthless Racing YouTube channel. Hollywood winning stage number 1. You're on the air with DB and B News 2.
All right, they're getting ready to come to the line to start stage 2. Hollywood is leading them up here. JWoww is on his outside. So we got 3 of the final 4 up in the front again here. All right, sorry, no, Typical's in 6th. JWoww's not in the final 4. Typical and Shepard side by side back here. The leaders are side by side. Oh, and Henson's got no help and just got side drafted by Hollywood. Here comes a big run.
Hollywood going to try to take the lead out here to the outside. He might have a couple cars work up to him here. Billy thinks about it for a second, doesn't do so. JWoww and everybody else orders down to the bottom. Hollywood all alone up high after 1 lap here in stage number 2 after winning the first stage. Shepard making money moves back up here to the top 5.
I think some people saw how good Hollywood's car is, and I don't know if they want to work with him now.
Yeah, that might be what we're looking at here. You know, Typical now running last out of the championship 4 here in stage number 2, working with against Shepard back here as we'll get on board with Typical as we watch this championship 4 battle between him and Shepard. Shepard going to be left to the high side, going to have to work with Henson what little bit he's got up there. Got a couple of guys working around to the high side now. Total flip and track now. Everybody on the low side last turn, everybody on the high side this turn. Interesting.
Yeah. Nobody is content with sitting in their spot right now. We got battling all over. It seems like the lead's changing position every lap here at the beginning of the stage.
And just like that, Typical says, I'm not last in the championship 4 no more. I'm going to run in second of the championship 4.
It can change quickly here.
Yep, you get that super speedway-esque racing, but you still got to let out like it's a true oval. And, you know, sometimes it makes for some tight race cars or some loose race cars. And I'm sure everybody's just finding, oh, it's loose up here, tight down here. Where do I run it? Well, you got like 5 different options. Just choose one.
Yeah. That's why this track is so great. There's so many grooves. I mean, the only one that you can't really run and make work is up by the wall. But, I mean, pretty much the 3 lanes from the bottom of the track up to the middle of the track are all good to run.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even the wall is runnable. You know, if you go in there and people are getting all messy, you know, you don't be afraid to go up there. It's just not competitive. But it'll certainly keep you out of some trouble. Look here, Typical. He is going to ride the highest line of them all here. I think he's setting up for the momentum back down the backstretch.
Things have calmed down here some at the front now.
All right, so we might see Typical make a move here. He set up the move. He did not take it. Maybe testing
Wow
some
on the
waters.
outside, though. Ooh.
I do believe we'll have 2 pit stops in every stage tonight. I do believe.
This stage is only 1. It's 27 laps. It's going to be very close making it on fuel because, like I said, most guys getting to lap 14 was pushing it, and you have to be able to make a 14-lap run to do this in 1 stop. So it's going to be tight on fuel at the end of the stage.
Yeah, well, once they cross the line right here, I think we'll be at 21 remaining. I believe everybody will have around enough fuel to make it to about 13 remaining. Like you said, if somebody's running that high gear or whatever, you could see some cars run out of gas here at the end of this stage.
Yeah, and this is one of those tracks that burns off towards the end of a run, so you're going to be down a lap or 2 from what it's telling you right now by the time you get to the end of your fuel run. These next gens definitely seem to burn a little bit more fuel than the older cars.
Yeah, it's kind of insane how much more fuel they have burned on these next-gen cars, considering that they're slower. You know, it's kind of wild.
Yeah, they have no power, but they burn fuel. It's like driving a Bronco.
Almost, yeah, almost like the exact opposite of what they were trying to do. It's like we got more fuel, less power. It's like, damn.
I thought you guys were making electric cars, not more pollution, but I guess we were wrong.
I'm telling you, I'm pitting twice as much as I was before.
Yeah. I think they're thinning out the gas. I think that's the problem.
You know, really, though, you know, someone mentioned the other day, they were like, you know, whenever you get in your car nowadays, you just don't smell the gas like you used to. And I was like, I swear to God, you don't. You know,
I
you
actually
used to
like
hop in
that
the
smell,
car.
oddly odd enough.
Yeah, man, I'd always been in the car, you know, parent filling up the vehicle. You're like, oh, hell yeah. But nowadays, it's just like nothing. It's like, what did I just put in my car?
Battle for second. Looks like Typical is trying to get around Henson here, and he's got some help.
Yeah, it's going to be Hollywood, another championship contender there. Speaking of those contenders, Shepard not too far out of the picture. He's right behind Cork and JWoww. Still very much up here, part of all this. Billy, though, in the 78, is the leader.
Yeah, the four guys are doing exactly what they need to do right now. They're staying up front, staying out of trouble, making sure nothing's going to put them a lap down going into this last stage and taking care of their car.
Typical now running first of the championship 4. In second. As we have the overhead view on him and Hollywood right behind the 5 there.
Oh, the 8 made a little contact with the 23, pushed him up towards the wall coming out of 4 there.
Looking to make Shepard go all the way to the low side. That kind of maybe had been a mistake.
That might hurt all 3 of those guys because it looks like they're going to lose the draft of these front 4.
That's right. JWoww and looks like Shepard's going to be able to clear up high above Cork. Allow JWoww to get back in order. Those 3 guys, they better get it back together quite quickly. You got the 17 and the 99 there working up to them. Maybe have a 5-car line here just in a moment.
They are probably just out of the draft range right now. If they can get somebody up front to make a little mistake or get side by side, they can probably get back in it. I'm seeing 4 laps of fuel left for JWoww here, so pit stops should be coming up within the next 3 to 4 laps.
That's right, and just 1 here in stage number 2 on the pit stop. So once they make this stop, it's going to be a battle to the end, and honestly, it might just be who has enough here at the end of this stage. And I think we're looking at 2 pits for the final stage around, right?
Correct, yeah. I think it's 38 or 39 laps, somewhere around there.
So that'll be another one cutting it close there a few times on that one. For some of them guys.
That one should be a little easier, but yeah, you still got to be able to make it 13 laps at least to get to the end of that.
Well, you know how you have like that 2-lap buffer. Somebody could go in there and think, oh, I had enough, but no, you didn't.
Yep.
So
right.
you got to keep that. You got to keep eye on that. As, right now, it is a whale of a battle.
We have our first pit stop. The 9 car just dropped off from the back of the field to go down the pits. He's going to have trouble making it to the end on 1 stop.
That'll be Dunlap, so we'll see how he fares once that works itself out. Typical passes Hollywood here as Billy remains the leader. It looks like everybody's going to be looking to pit. Oh, interesting there between Billy and Typical. I'm not sure what happened. Billy is on the apron. I believe he went to go. All right, everybody pits. Looks like everybody done all right for the most part. Pit stop brought to you by Skewer.
JWoww pushed it in there. He got in just under 55.
All right, so now we got the Nana Dunlap, first of the pitting cars. He's going to come back out on track. He's going to have Monkey Mach 4 with him. I think Smitty there in the 41 as well. All 3 of these cars have pit already.
Everybody's coming out. Let's see, did anybody get a penalty?
It's looking like it. Oh, most everybody came out pretty good. Looks like Hollywood is going to come out ahead of Typical. And then Henson's going to round, looks like 3rd place. That would be.
JWoww's going to be in no man's land.
Yeah, JWoww's going to be looking at 4th place, but in between both the front and the back. As Shepard is one of those cars trying to link up to the 23. He's got the 8 and the 78. Billy, had that, just didn't have a good entry to pit road there that time. He finds himself back here. Shepard.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Well, there's a Shepard's going to need to figure out how to get in and out of the pits a little faster, because if this happens in the last stage, he's going to be in trouble if his front three get together like this again.
That's right. He needs to figure that out come next stage for sure. Right now, like you said, no big deal here in the stages, but you definitely want to see what your car is going to do. It's a good testing waters, early on in this race. Just kind of see what you have to expect as you get down here to where it really is going to matter.
Yeah, and at this point in the race, you've had 3 green flag pit stops. You got 2 more to go, which are going to be the clutch ones of the race, I'll say. So, I mean, you should know what to expect and what you got to do to get in there quickly, or if you can gain a little bit of time, whatever you need to do. But this next stage is where it all comes down to.
You're exactly right. And right now, Hollywood is going to be your leader. Henson, typical, right there, 1, 2, 3. But looks like that pack behind JWoww, they're trying to figure things out. They're getting closer together. So, these first 2 stages of a race like this too is a very good time to build a little bit of temporary friendships. Kind of some people you can work with, maybe towards the end of that 3rd stage.
But man, Hollywood is looking strong so far tonight. I will say that.
Yeah, Hollywood definitely winning stage 1 right here and leading stage 2 as we come down towards the end of it. Certainly looking very favorite. Typical, we see what we thought, maybe struggles, but runs 3rd now. And I don't know if his car is just like, if it doesn't have leading, capability, it doesn't have passing problems. He seems real comfortable just racing behind people, driving behind people right now. And makes you wonder if he's maybe tuning on that car, trying to test a few things to see what he can get done as we go on through. And then Henson, just consistently just been up here since the beginning of the race, just kind of hanging out. Maybe a little bit of an issue on one of his pit stops or something. Maybe got in a little slow. But other than that, these top 3 guys looking real good. Hollywood, obviously looking the strongest of the 3. Shepard poked his head up here, even got up battling 2nd there for a moment. Pit stops have been a problem for him as we continue on here through stage 2. So we'll get down to the money in the
I
next
think when
stage.
it comes to typical, I think he was kind of just sleepwalking his way through the first stage and a half here, and now he's starting to come to life, realizing that it's about to be money time. I think he'll be a lot more aggressive in this last stage and show us a little more of what he's actually got.
Yeah, he may be just out here creeping. Doesn't want to show off what he's got too much. Hollywood, I don't want to say that he is, but maybe, he's been running all out this race. He wants to show, what the car has. Come out here, if, you sweep all the stages, win the race, champion as well, that would be a big statement, after just having such a dry season in Victory Lane.
Yeah, but you got to be careful sometimes. Like, you'll see a car dominate the first 2 stages, and it seems like they're the best, but there's a lot of people that are just, laying back, waiting until that last stage, and then you kind of used up everything you had. Everybody knows what you got now, so you don't have much left to put on the table going into that last stage.
Yeah, Typical had, the first season of Ruthless, he had that kind of bug. He would win those first 2 stages and lose the race every time.
Mm-hmm. Well, once you figure out how to be fast, it's hard not to want to go to the front. But sometimes you got to realize it's not always better to be in the front, especially at tracks like this. If you ride 2nd or 3rd in line behind somebody, you could probably save a whole extra lap of fuel for a run, and that gives you that extra lap of fresh tires after you make a green flag stop.
Yeah, exactly. And that, like you were saying, the strategy that's going to play out here in this next stage like that. What kind of when and where people go in. Right now we are at 5 to go as we go down the back stretch here in stage number 2. And it's just been these 3 guys cruising since the pit stop.
Yeah, we got 2.1 seconds back to that second group. Coming to the line here, lap 24 of 27 in the second stage.
All right, 4 to go. Typical, way up there, grab some wall.
I think that second group is making a little bit of ground, but I don't think they're going to be able to gain enough. And Typical falling out of that first group would definitely help them make some more ground up quicker.
Yeah, and Hollywood kind of not letting the 18 stay on his air. The Typical, though, he had enough to grab off the 18. He's going to try to work back up to this group. Henson going to go way to the low side. Typical not really choosing, but stays high for now. Hollywood's going to run in the middle. Henson taking the lead by barely the front nose there. I believe the point on his Toyota model is what was really giving him the lead there. The flat nose of the Ford disadvantage.
The end of the stage, we're going to see a little preview of what's going to be happening towards the end of the race, because this is the time where you're going to start testing out and seeing what your car could do, where you can make passes, where you can get good runs, how long it's going to take you to pass somebody.
That's right. Hollywood, he's going to move back to third. He's going to move Typical up to second. Henson is your leader, and this is going to be 2 to go here in stage number 2 in your Ruthless championship race.
And if this front group keeps messing around, that second group's down to 1.5 seconds now.
Yeah, they could definitely catch some more air working together here on the next lap and a half. These front three's trying to get it back together, but I'm telling you, that 23 is getting large.
Yes, he is.
All right, when we come back around right here at the line, it's going to be 1 to go in stage number 2. This is your Ruthless Racing Pro Series Championship, and 3 of your Championship 4 are running in the top 3 right here. 1 to go, stage 2.
Here goes some experimenting here. Holly was trying to see if he could make it work on the outside lane. Didn't work that time.
All right, we come back down the backstretch. Hollywood and the 14's got a good push from the 5. We're going to have lap traffic here, maybe a part of this finish. Nash Carrillo up there in the 12, the lap car. Hollywood and Typical are way downstream. Hollywood, that's going to put him out of contention for stage 2. He saves it, though. Everybody's going to pass him. Henson going to be your stage 2 winner, another championship contender, a stage winner. But right there on the apron, Hollywood gets spun by Typical just a little bit there. It was interesting. But
we might have a little bit of drama going into this last stage, because I don't think Hollywood's going to be too happy about that move.
Oh, no way. That was very quick. I was anticipating a wreck there. That still kind of surprised me.
And he just put him in the 8th going into the last stage, so or maybe 7th. He's not going to like that at all. This should be interesting. I thought we might get a little preview there at the end of that stage, and yeah, you see what's going to happen going into these last few laps. It's going to get aggressive. People are going to be diving down on the apron, doing whatever they can to make a move on somebody.
Yeah, that was certainly something. That was our first real piece of excitement there. So, like you said, it's going to push Hollywood way back on this restart, and it's going to make Henson JWoww on the point for this final stage. This is for all of it right here in the Ruthless Racing Pro Series, right here on the Ruthless Racing YouTube channel. The final stage to crown the champion, the most ruthless of anybody in the NASCAR Heat 5 universe.
Did we just lose the car in 4th place?
I'm not sure.
Looks like somebody disappeared on my screen.
Looks like I still got everybody. Check your pits.
No, I don't see anybody in the pits.
Okay.
That was weird. I wonder if somebody's invisible on my screen now.
They would be in the pits. Usually that's what happens. Henson is your leader coming around for the first lap in stage number 3. Going to be 2 pits in this stage. And if it stays green like this race has been, it's going to come all down to how clean you can get on and off pit road 2 times. And see who could be the Ruthless champion. Hollywood stage 1 winner, Henson stage 2 winner. Could we see another trend, a different winner in this stage? Could it be one of those guys needing the win to be the champion? 3 of those 4 championship contenders have been up here all evening. Now Shepard, though, top 5.
I'm locked in back here on Hollywood waiting to see when he's going to try to make a move to get closer to these front guys. You don't want to have any chance of losing a gap to them at all going into the pit stops here.
You're exactly right. Now the top 6, 4 of those guys are fighting for that championship. And then 2 other of those guys are very capable of winning this race.
And the final 4 all just moved up to the top lane. That is interesting. Can't lose each other if you're all riding together.
That's right. We're on board with Shepard here. He rides around 6th position. Good 3v3 high-low battle now.
Might get some restrictor plate racing here for a few laps.
This is more side-by-side racing than we had at all of Talladega.
I was a little disappointed at Talladega with how unuseful the high lane was, because we did some practices with smaller groups, and when you had like 2 or 3 people in a group, you could make the high lane work. But as soon as you had a bigger pack of like 5 or 6 people, the bottom lane just blew the doors off.
All right, and now is as good a time as any. The last Crank It Up for Season 2. We're going to Ruthless Crank It Up, Playoff Edition, Championship style right here at the Club de Auto in Fontana. All right, everybody, crank it up, Ruthless style.
And interestingly enough, the 2 cars that have gone to the front are the 2 that are not battling for the championship here. And the group of cars that were behind this front group have now caught back up and made this a lot more interesting race for the end.
You're exactly right, and that's what I was mentioning earlier. Out of those 6 cars, 2 of those guys were very capable of winning this race, so it could all come down just to the big wreck off the 23, off the wall. Gets a few of the championship contenders around. That is certainly going to be a manual caution once we come back around. 8 hard into the wall, and it's going to be a race to the line up to the front as well. We got Billy in the 78 there in the lead, typical behind him.
Wow.
I think,
now watching the actual stream of the race, it didn't look like Hollywood got affected by that, but on JWoww's stream, Hollywood nailed him. So I don't know if he got any damage from that or not, but it looked like he made some solid contact there on JWoww when he got sideways.
Well, it looks like Hollywood did get through. He's sitting here in 3rd. He was just as close as they were before. I think, yeah, I mean, top 5 consists of the championship 4. It's going to be a lap back for somebody there. I think it was the 41 of Smitty, maybe.
And it looked like JWoww just maybe got in the gas too soon. I don't know if anybody made contact with him, but he hit the wall coming out of the turn and then just got piled on by other cars.
All right, yeah. So, little incident there. Maybe just clipped the wall or something, you know, just
running hard. Sometimes you misjudge it coming out of the turn there.
That's right. And it's going to be our first caution of the evening other than the stage breaks. And it all comes down here in stage 3. And that is going to throw a little bit of interesting strategy
You
into
know,
the play.
we might be right on the number for one pit stop. Um, 28 laps. How does that work if the number's 14? It's just one stop then, right?
I guess that would well, it would be one stop because it stops a lap early for the burnouts.
Yeah, because it's 71 right now. They're going to be going green on lap 72. That's going to leave 28 laps. So they're going to be right on the number, which means they're probably going to have to save some fuel to make this.
With the burnout rule, the race will be official once you cross at 200. So, you might not have enough fuel to get your burnout in. That might be the problem.
I'm sure that this is not what most of these guys wanted to do, because I don't know how many people are running fuel gears for this race, but I mean, if I'm them right now, I'm running in 5th gear for running around this caution and trying to save as much as I can going around the lawn.
Yeah, and when they go back green here, we'll try to get the lap count.
And that's exactly what JWoww's doing. He's just rolling in 5th gear right now.
All right, so it's going to be typical in Hollywood on the point for this restart in stage number 3 after our first caution of the evening off the 23 and just a bunch of other cars. Just a lot of people getting in. The 8 got into the wall hard. Looked like the 14 of Hollywood got some damage, but it looked like maybe he didn't. So interesting enough. We'll be coming back around to the skew car restart zone here at Auto Club to figure out.
This is the furthest I've seen the 99 car up in the field today.
Yeah, Alex has poked his head back up here. All right, one more restart here. If we stay green, we'll decide who is the champion with one more pit stop remaining. Good restart here for the 5. Nobody else really had much better of a restart than he did. I mean, he had like the best in the field.
He got a good launch, that's for sure.
Now that's going to allow that low side to just outgun the high side, and people are going to have to just mesh in as they get going.
Oh, the 9 car shoot down there coming out of 2. I think he saved it though.
I think he took a little bump off of somebody. 3 wide. Back here for like 10th position. Championship 4 looking to become the top 4 of the race. Billy hanging down there on the low side all by himself.
Billy's sitting there just like, really? None of you guys want to work with me down here?
Yeah, and then
Come
they pull
on.
the crossover down the backstretch almost.
It's hard, if you're in the championship 4, it's hard to be patient with people that are not running against you for this championship, even though, you're trying to give them respect and give them a good race, but at the same time, you're like, get out of my way, I'm trying to do something here. We're trying to run for a championship.
I totally have to agree with that. I know these guys want their wins and their respect, and they're right in this, in the history books of Ruthless, but there's a daggone diecast on the line here tonight. The winner of the championship race will receive a diecast of their choice, basically.
And Typical is not waiting. He said, I want that lead. I don't care how many times I got to pass you, Billy. Oh, and Billy said, well, I want the lead too. I'm trying to get me some TV time out here.
I think these pit stops are going to be interesting. I don't know if everybody could possibly do it. That's 26 to go right here.
You know who is probably hurting themselves right now is Typical, because I would want to be in like Hollywood or Shepard's position right now. You're sitting in the back of this line, not burning a lot of fuel. You're just kind of riding along in the draft. And as close as they're going to be on fuel, I think that you don't want to be out front. And Typical is out front. He's driving as hard as he can. Keeps trying to pass Billy, not getting any draft. He's going to be burning a lot of fuel. And unless he's got a low gear in that thing, good luck trying to make that 28 laps.
And to answer your question, the Angry Gamer, diecast winners have already been chosen. There was a community post made on the Ruthless Racing YouTube channel. Once again, congratulations to Mountain Dew Modeling and 24 Racing Fan. Those were the winners of the diecast. And they chose the Watkins Glen win Chase Elliott to Mountain Dew Modeling and the number 9 signed Willie B Xfinity card, which 24 Racing Fan. And we got some two-line racing, but looks like all the championship guys but typical are on the bottom. Billy just kind of back and forth here, playing with both lines up here as the leader. And I agree with what you were saying, DB. Hanging out back there like Hollywood or Shepard was, I feel like that's kind of the move. Kind of try to save that little bit of extra fuel just in case.
But it is a little dangerous with a big pack like this, too, because if something happens and you get shuffled back, all of a sudden you're in 10th place and the pack starts separating and you're not in a good spot.
It's getting dicey out here. It's 3, almost 4 wide back here amongst some of them. Auto Club does always bring that kind of racing, though.
Shepard's starting to get a little bit of a gap here. I would be getting a little concerned if I was him and trying to push real hard to get back up to these front guys a little closer.
You know, as long as Shepard stays right there with that 23, I think he'll be all right. He needs to try to stay away from those other guys, quit fighting for position with them. And I think he'll be just fine. The 6 we have in the top 6 right now have been kind of the top performers of the evening so far.
Still hard to pick who's going to win here, though. Henson's car is looking strong, but it really, you're going to see when the nerves kick in going into these green flags pit stops, if everybody's going to hit their marks clean, get in without getting a penalty, get out without messing up. I mean, this one's pretty easy to drive out on the apron when you're coming out of the pits, but you can still make a mistake and lose a little bit of time.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to do a quick math here once we get the lap count on typical stream. We got 21 to go, or 20 to go actually, so they could run to about 14 to go. It's literally on the dot.
Well, JL's got 6 laps of fuel left, it's showing right now.
All right, so Billy has stretched all the way out there in that lead. Typical to second, Henson now third, Jaywell fourth, and Shepard battling Hollywood for fifth. And Shepard wins.
Typical switched into a fuel gear the way that Billy just pulled away from them and everybody behind them stacking up now.
And we're
I think he realized
almost
what
3
he was
wide.
doing to himself.
We still got that one pit stop to go. Oh, we getting a little shifty here for third. He's able to hang on to it. Got Hollywood. He's working down to the low side. Typical dives down to stop that run. And Henson now able to mesh back in. Loses a spot there to Hollywood. Not a lot of low side help there. Hollywood not clear on the 18. He's going to push the 18 down to the grass. And that's going to hurt Henson's run a little bit. I think they got hooked there coming down the front stretch. Caused that left rear of the 18 to grab a little dirt. And that pushes him back into not so well territory. 8 loose coming off of 2. This is a hell of a battle here around this 18.
So now the 5 is not happy with the 14, or the 14 is not happy with the 5. The 18 is not happy with the 14. It looks like the 48 is the only one staying out of trouble right now.
Yeah, and he is he's milking it for everything it's worth because he's trying to come up here and still second.
Yeah, and Typical is really backing everybody up from Billy here.
Yeah, he's letting Billy really run out there.
I'm convinced he's in a fuel gear right now, but I mean, it would be a lot more beneficial to him to be in the fuel gear right behind Billy getting the draft and not, because he's basically running out front the way it is right now. Oh, what just happened?
That was interesting.
I think Typical threw it in race gear and everybody else was not ready for that.
Yeah, he kind of just darted out there, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I think everybody was cool with riding behind Typical saving fuel, and he just said, "I see a gap here. I'm gonna go get Billy and try to pull away."
So now Shepard moves up to third. He is the leader of the rest of the field, as Typical and Billy now up there stand alone.
Oh, pit stops are coming, and that's early.
They could be looking at a two-stopper here. Maybe Hollywood might have called it a two-stopper. I felt like they might have been
Oh,
around too many laps. Shepard, Hollywood's going to stay out along with JWoww. So these guys, now this is interesting. If it's a one-stopper, we'll see what happens.
I'm gonna guess with that many guys pitting early, the tip or Hollywood might have changed it to a two-stopper, so nobody had to save fuel. But if these guys do have to make it on one stop, they're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah, it's going to be certainly interesting.
What doesn't make sense though is why would I think Typical was running in a fuel gear, and I don't know why he'd be doing that if they had to do two stops. And the rest of the leaders are pitting now. JWoww, Hollywood, and Shepard. And I mean, they got to be sitting in the best spot here.
I would imagine they are in the better spot of anybody out in the field.
You know what? It's saying that there's going to be 13 to go when they come out of the pit, so maybe they just saved an extra lap and the other guys did make it 14.
Well, I was looking at, it said 16 to go over on Typical stream. So he may have made this a two-stopper, because even if you take off one lap, that would be 15 to go. You still couldn't make it. So
Yeah.
for the burnout rule, so we might be looking at a splash and go situation here. Oh, Hollywood is sideways. Oh, okay. This is just a glitch.
Yeah, him and JWoww are nose to tail coming out of the pits here. They're going to lose a little bit of time in this front three, and Shepard is in trouble.
Yeah, Shepard did not get up there with that group. They all came out together, and he was not there. That's what we were talking about, the pit stop.
Yep, the first two stages you saw, he lost a little time, and he did it again, and it might just cost him the championship if it stays green.
Yeah, Shepard, we might have the other pit stop, though. You never know. Could just come out here, run a couple laps, run back in there, get enough fuel to make it to the end and go. As tight as these front five are, I just don't know about that.
Yeah, and by the time he gets back to that group of cars behind him, he's going to be a solid 3 seconds back from these guys. It's going to be hard to come back from that.
Yeah, a lot of space between those cars back there. They all got to catch together and then work around. These guys are already on the move. Typical, your leader right now too, as well. So that makes him champion favorite at the moment.
I think these guys are well aware of the fact that they could eliminate one of their 4 contenders right now, so they're all lined up. They're not battling at all. Hollywood's losing a little patience, though. He said, let me get around you, JWoww. I need to be a little closer to the front here.
All right, we're looking at 12 to go, 11 to go here at the line. I don't know. We're going to be close on this.
Is it 11? Because I'm seeing 12 to go for JWoww in laps of fuel.
Yeah,
so
we got the burnout rule, so it stops the lap early.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So maybe they don't have to pit again. I'm still not sure what lap it is.
I don't think these guys can make it if it was 11 to go that time by. I really don't think so. Unless these guys have to make another pit. I just don't know. Some of these guys, I just don't think some of them can. Like these, the ones that pit in the first time around. Hollywood, JWoww, and Shepard, I think are going to be in the best seat for this. Is that time by? This will be 10 to go now. I just don't. I'm telling you, I don't think some of these guys have got it unless there is another pit stop required. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Well, the guy, JWoww, Hollywood, and Shepard, they all have 10 laps left right now, or they should. So I think they can make it. That's
I'm,
why I couldn't believe when all those guys pitted that early.
yeah, I thought they all should have ran that extra lap. And typical. He was part of that first pitting crew. It's not helping him one bit staying out front here. There is another pit stop required.
Oh, what did you? Okay. Well, that definitely changes things.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting for sure.
Well, from what I've seen tonight, Hollywood and Henson have been the best two getting in and out of the pits.
And that's odd because Typical has won a lot of races this year solely on his pit road entry and exit here in the Pro Series. So, maybe they got the one thing they've been missing all season, against Typical. And
I don't know how willing any of these three guys are going to be to work with each other, but I would be trying to get one of these two guys that aren't in the championship to maybe take an early pit with me. That way I got a drafting partner coming out of the pits and see if that helps any, getting out of the pits early.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree. It's definitely not something you're going to be able to handle alone out here as we look at 7 to go with the pit stop required. Alex already made his pit stop coming back out onto the track. This front bunch is not letting out yet. 3 of your championship 4 are up here in this top pack of 5 cars. Typical leading them. If the race ended right now, he'd be your champion. But that ain't how it works. We got 6 to go and a pit stop required to see who is going to be the Ruthless champion.
I am locked onto these front 5. Poor Shepard, man. He still hasn't even gotten anybody to catch up to him yet. He needs a caution bad.
Yeah, Shepard is in caution needing territory at the moment. These guys are going to bring this race down to a damn pit stop. But quite literally, it is 5 to go.
And I'm honestly kind of surprised nobody's tried to pit early here.
Yeah, that was something I was thinking of, pitting a little bit earlier, get the momentum back up while they're still trying to come back out. I don't imagine.
Billy might be setting up to go to the pits here. He just dropped to the back of this line.
Yeah,
he's dropping down low. If I'm one of these final 4, man, I'm taking advantage of that and dropping down with him.
They could be. They can also say their pit and or signal the pit. But Billy's the only one who goes.
Yeah. Interesting.
Well, this is a hard, heavy drafting track. If these 4 guys, pit together real close, Shepard, he's already pit. He's going to go a lap down right here, but, he's already pit. So maybe a little something out there for him.
I mean, he had to try something.
Now the Typical and Henson are going to pit. I think Hollywood JWoww stay out here. They pit the lap after.
This is exactly what I'm thinking. I want to see this entry here because Typical hasn't been getting in as good as Henson tonight. Oh, it looked like Henson got right next to him there. They are like dead even coming down the pits.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to come out first. Let's see. They got 4 laps of fuel left. How long are they going to stretch this out for? I mean, Hollywood's got a good person out here on the track with him to sit here and ride it out until he burns the fuel down. It's not going to hurt him now since he's got a drafting partner. But it looks like they're going now.
They are going
Oh,
now.
Hollywood got in there.
He was pretty warm getting down in there. I hope he didn't get caught speeding. Henson comes
man.
out. Oh, no. Henson comes out here.
Henson got a little bit of a gap there on Typical.
Yeah, he's gonna be ahead. I thought I was just glitching, I guess.
I think he's going to be in draft range, though.
He certainly will be. This splash and go for the 14 and the 23. It's going to see if that 14 comes out on Tom. I would imagine he should have already been out. Oh, we got one way up into the wall here. That's going to be Hollywood.
Is that a glitch?
No, Hollywood has wrecked.
Controller or something has died.
He has stopped on the track. I think he's just telling people he has wrecked off pit road with those worn tires. I think that's going to be Hollywood's season right there.
Wow.
Now it is between these two.
Battle.
Where's Billy at in all this? Is he out here in the lead?
He's right there. He's behind JWoww. He just didn't have as good of an entry going in, but he's got a drafting partner in Cork there, so I'm curious if he can get caught back up. Because these guys probably aren't going to be doing much drafting with each other with 2 to go here.
All right, Henson in front of Typical right now. How is this all going to work out?
I think JWoww might win this race.
This is the last lap.
Oh, this is the last lap.
It's 1 to go, presented by Skew Car. The pit stop's got me messed up. Typical down to the bottom on the inside of Henson. He's going to bump him up the track. Typical gets Henson up into the wall. And I think a caution? Who's going to win this thing? How did this just work out? Who won the race?
I think Typical won. Oh, Henson does not look like he's happy.
That was a move to the inside there in turn 3 and 4. That's going to give Typical the championship.
I'll be honest. I'm surprised Henson even gave him the bottom to be able to do that. I know that he was able to ride down there. He should have just blocked that, but. Man.
All right, a lot of drama there at the end of this one. I think Typical may have took the race and the championship. Hollywood Rex coming out on the last pit. And then, the last lap move there by Typical on Henson. And, Shepard just having that one bad pit stop. I do believe Typical takes the race and the championship.
After the reaction to the way that Dover ended, you wouldn't think that he would make a move like that. But, I mean, it is for the championship, so you got to do what you got to do to win. I know that 18 car is not going to be happy.
All right, so I think it's going to be Henson, Typical, JWoww, and Henson on the finish.
Yeah, Billy was 4th, and JWoww just went to a blue screen, so I can't see the rest of it.
All right, so that makes Typical your back-to-back Ruthless Pro Series champion. And this time winning Auto Club to get it done. A big bump there on the 18 and turns 3 and 4 to secure the championship. I'm interested to see how this one is.
We got the rest of the final order here. Shepard's 5th, Alex 6th, Monkey Mac 7th, Dunlap's 8th, Hollywood 9th, and G-Dog 10th.
All right, so your championship 4 ends out with Typical, Henson, Shep, and Hollywood. That's how they lined up coming in, and that's how they'll look going out. All right, we got our 3rd place finisher here in Henson. Man, what a season. That came down to a pit stop with not many laps remaining, and then it comes down to a move in the last corner like that. Just speak on whatever you feel to speak on.
Me?
Oh, I didn't know everybody was joining. My bad. All right, we'll wait for
Yeah,
Hollywood. We'll wait for Hollywood to get in here then. My bad. I thought it was just doing top three. All right.
I'm gonna put JWoww in here. I don't know if you guys did or not. Do interview him first.
Oh, interview him first.
Yeah, and then go to us.
Okay, I got you. All right, everybody, hang out. Wait for JWoww to get in here. We'll see how everything goes.
Hey, wow, is here.
All right, there he is, second place finisher tonight here in the Ruthless Pro Championship. Obviously, you wasn't out there racing for the hardware just simply because you didn't get in, soon enough. But you made your mark out here this season, and won a race, won a lot of stages, and you hung in there real tough here for the season finale. Just kind of walk us through your race and what your experience here in Ruthless has been like so far.
Oh yeah, the race we had. Our cars, I guess they're not, or the setups don't really translate very well from 2020 setups to 2022. And going back and forth, we're trying to mess with the gears and stuff and the wedge and front weight, but for some reason it just doesn't want to pitch and yaw and how I want it to do, like on the old cars, especially on exit. I was having trouble trying to get I was tight on exit almost all day, and then we worked up on our oil temp was so low from the gears where we were working with earlier, trying to move them from the old cars to new cars, and it's just went up like 3 clicks on the tape just to get us to 250, 55 oil temp, and it got us to where we wanted into the run towards the end of the race, but it came down to the last pit stop, and I the 14 car was ahead of me, and I didn't want to be too aggressive and say, like, take him out or give him a black flag there at the end. So I kind of went in there about 80, 75% and ended up coming. It wasn't a bad entrance, but then I saw the 14 spun right out coming out of pits, and I almost spun right out too with the old tires. But yeah, I felt like if I could have had a little clearer track going into the pit entry, we could have had a shot at winning. But overall experience at Ruthless it's been pretty good. A lot of good battles with everybody. So Henson and Typical.
Yeah, it's been great having you in here, JWoww. Like I said, you've already did a lot of leaving your own mark here so far. So hopefully you'll come back around season 3, and maybe you'll be up here for the Ruthless 4.
Yes, sir. I'll see you here next season.
All right, awesome. As always, thanks for racing. All right, now we'll jump over to the championship contenders for the night. They finish how they come in, with Hollywood rounding up his night in 9th position, I do believe. That last pit stop, I bet you almost wish you didn't have to do it. That's what ultimately seemed like costed you the season, the worn tires on the apron. Just kind of speak on what the race was overall, because you had such a dominant car, looking real good after the stage 1 win and stuff. So, just give it to us.
Yeah, man. This is the first race in a while that I felt like there wasn't one of us that, their car really stood out. I felt like we were all super even throughout the whole race. Different leaders came up to the front and fell back a little bit, but I just came off the pits with old tires, man, and just got loose as soon as the game let me control. I don't know if my wheel wasn't straight or whatever, and I saw JWoww kind of get a little loose and overreacted myself, and it just spun it towards the wall. So, that stuff happens. It's just racing. We'll move on to next season. It's not a big deal. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's ran in this league. All the drivers, everybody that's helped put this on, SKU Car, Stu and DB for broadcasting tonight. We all do an amazing job, making this happen every week, and we're going to continue to build what we have going here into season 3 and beyond. So really proud of everybody in the race that was put on tonight. That's all I got, man.
Well, Hollywood, thanks to you for always, doing all the stats and keeping up with, all the league rules and all the things that just go into just running Ruthless Racing from the league aspect. I'm sure it's just as much work there as it is keeping up with the broadcast and the YouTube or whatever. So it's not just a one-man deal or whatever. It takes a lot of people to make all this stuff happen. And,
Yeah.
same with Skew Car, always out there helping us.
Yeah, man, I wouldn't do it if I didn't believe in it. So I think we've got a really good thing going on here, and I think it's going to turn into a better thing down the line. So thanks, everybody.
Yeah, so now we'll move on over to Shepard. He finishes third in the championship standing after tonight's race. You fell back there early on, but you battled back up. I mean, battling for second a few times out there tonight. And in the end, it ends with this. But, I feel like your hot streak didn't really die off. I felt like you had a real good car out here tonight as well. It just came down to those pit stops, which I feel like maybe, that 48 team could have had a few better pit stops this evening. What do you say?
Definitely. It was the pit stops, because the first pit stop I did spin out, but I managed to get back rolling pretty quick. But every other pit stop was like a 15.8, 15.9. The last pit stop I had when I got fresh tires was like a 16.2. So definitely, if the pit crew kind of gave me those 15.2s and 15.3s I was hoping for, definitely would have been able to contend a little bit better. Because strategy in mind was just maintain, staying up, at least top 4, top 5, hang out with those guys, and when they push it, just be right there just in case to, nab one. But still, overall, good car. Drafting, like I said earlier, was going to play a major role in it. But other than that, 10 out of 10 race though. Good way to leave off a season and just try harder for next season.
Hey, man, it's good to hear. DB, you got anything for Shepard? And then I'll let you take over Henson.
Um, well, I guess like he said, it came down mostly to the pit stops here at the end. Is there anything you think maybe you could have done differently? Do you think you could have got in better maybe on your entry, or did you like get loose coming out of the pits on the old tires like they were saying they had problems with?
Believe it or not, exit wise, the car felt perfect. It rotated just the way I felt like I was faster coming out of pit road, like I needed, but it's just coming into the pits. I was going at least about 5 or 4 below, and I was trying to push that thread, but um, didn't want to risk a black flag. Definitely could have probably had more confidence in coming into the pits like I had coming out, but like I say, it's just we're going to work on the entry versus the exit.
Yeah, there's definitely a fine line there. You can gain a lot of time if you can find that right mark to hit when you get on your brakes and just barely make it in under the speed limit.
Most definitely.
Hey, Shepard, as always, man, thanks for racing here 2 seasons in a row. Uh, you've been battling for the hardware, and let's see if you can get it done for season 3.
All right. I'll see you
Great
guys
job,
next
Shepard. You had
season.
a fast season, bro. Way to
Oh,
give.
appreciate it.
You had great cars at the end, bro. So
I
congrats on
appreciate
making
it.
us on the floor.
Thank you.
All right, DB, ask the man, Henson, driver of the 18.
Well, Henson, I know you're probably not happy about the finish there. I mean, I thought you had it going into the last turn, honestly, because you had a pretty big gap there. Is there anything you wish you did differently there on the last lap?
I mean, I wouldn't have done anything different, racing with a guy of his caliber, considering how clean and fast he usually is. I intentionally left him the bottom because I knew his car would handle the apron. I mean, I typically I wouldn't leave the bottom open like that, but we've raced a lot together and know what each other is capable of and what the other is going to do. And you leave the bottom in hopes he's going to hold his car down low, and he just doesn't. So, I mean, nothing I really would have done different. I guess next time the roles will be flipped. I'll just do the same thing you done to me. But
I mean, you didn't consider just blocking the bottom and making him go to the
no,
top of
I
you?
I didn't want to block the bottom because I knew if I went any lower, my car was already really really loose on those tires, and I didn't want to risk spinning and taking us both out. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give him the bottom, and I think I'll get a pretty big run on the high side, and it just didn't work out that way. But it's all good. I had a really good car though. I mean, I was getting really good time on pit road. I mean, the last pit stop, I gained a ton of time on him. I was right on 55 on the money. Couldn't really do anything different except hold the bottom, but didn't really want to do that considering my car was loose already.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like you and Hollywood definitely had the pit entry and exit down the best because you guys were gaining the most time on those green flag stops. It came down to the last turn, and I know it didn't go the way you wanted. I mean, people are going to do what they got to do for a championship win, unfortunately, and somebody's got to come out on the bad side of it. But you still had a great season, and you definitely had a winning car tonight for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate it, DB. Thanks for shout out to you too. We spent a pretty good bit yesterday working. Not you helping me, but we spent a lot of time running the cars. I appreciate that as well.
No problem, man.
Hey, Henson. As always, it's great having you run with us here. Hopefully, you'll be here with us for season 3, trying to be in this same situation, and maybe you could end the streak that's now current for the championship holder here in the Ruthless Pro Series.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be back, and really want to shout out Hollywood and Stu. I appreciate everything y'all do. I know it's a lot to keep up with, and you do a great job broadcasting, so I appreciate that.
Hey, thank you, man.
Thank you, buddy. Good season by you. You'll be back in this position again. So
Thank you, man.
go get it next year. Come on.
Come on. All right. Now we're back with somebody no stranger to the booth. Now, two-time typical here in the Ruthless Pro Series, back-to-back champion. How's it feel?
Feels amazing. Uh, I'm kind of proud of it, kind of not proud of it, because stuff happened. But I think I don't think I did all that work there. I think part of it was him coming down on me too, because he took a really high arc into that corner and left the bottom wide open. I was already on the apron, and at some point you got to come up from the apron, and I didn't really have the room to go up and kind of hit him. But I had that thought of moving him. I didn't really want to. I didn't really even try to either. But I think he kind of read me out of room on the apron. But that's what I think about it.
DB, you got anything for our champ?
My question for you, typical, is, I mean, do you think you're going to come back and three-peat next season?
Yeah, Vegas is the championship next week. I got a really good car there. I think there's a good possibility if I get a good season like I did this year and make it to the championship. You know, I just you gotta do what you gotta do to win. And I don't know. I was getting beat out of pit road because my pit stop was so close to the line. I wasn't getting up to speed fully, and people would just blow by me. And then yeah, that's how he got ahead of me, I think. I didn't really think like I deserved to be behind him. That's how it happened.
Well, either way, it worked out for you, and you got the championship, Jones. So congrats on your championship, the second in a row. And good luck on going for a third.
Oh yeah, thanks, man.
No problem.
Yeah, typical. Like I said, now two-time champ. Any idea like what your trophy's going to be yet?
I think it's the diecast. that's
Well, I
that's
know
gonna be
that,
pretty
but
cool.
like, what one? Like, what are you thinking?
Oh, Oh, are there options? I didn't even know.
I thought there was. I could be
Should
wrong.
I tell him or no? You want it to be a surprise, or you want me to tell you?
Surprise.
Okay,
All
we're gonna go
right,
with that.
surprise. Well, it's a diecast nonetheless. That will be typical surprise for being crowned the Ruthless Pro Series champion for the second season in a row. Uh,
Two-time tie. Come on.
yeah, rounds up the season with 15 total wins and tops it off with the crown. So, yeah, just congratulations, Ty. Like you said, you know, got to win. We'll see how that works out in the future.
Yeah, thanks everybody for the good season. There was a lot of good drivers in here. Even when most people left, we gained better people back. So I appreciate everyone that joined and raced everybody clean. And see you guys next season.
All right, and well, Hollywood, you want to speak on? I don't know, maybe like
Yeah.
what's going on afterwards. After Tuesday, Tuesday is the Pro Am Championship, but after that,
Yeah. I want to bring it back. You know, it, it sucks that the last lap was what it was, but tied, with the season that he had, it is fitting for him to be champion. It's kind of this format's kind of weird, right? Where it comes down to one race, and that's just how it goes. But great season by everybody. I'm sure that I don't know if he's gonna get to 15 wins next year. So a hell of a season. That's probably gonna be a record uh, that stays with the Ruthless for as long as we're around. So
He might have a little bit more competition next season.
yeah, I don't know if he's getting 15.
Who got
Anyways,
15?
I figure it out, boy.
It's like making
anyways,
shit cars go faster.
Hey man, that's what they said this season though, and that's how it turned. Look how it turned out.
yeah, you're
Out
not
here
getting
driving
15.
tanks.
All right, looking forward though. Yeah, so Pro Am Championship next Tuesday, same track, same channel, same time, just on Tuesday. I'll be in the booth. Might have a couple guests. We'll see how that goes. Who wants to get in there with me? And then after that, if anybody that is watching wants to join Ruthless Racing, contact us. Leave a comment on the YouTube. You got to be on PSN, PlayStation Network. I'll get your gamer tag and we'll go from there. Um, the start date for Ruthless Racing Season 3 for the Pro-Am is, I believe it's August 15th, and then the Pro Series will be starting on August 17th. So we got a few weeks off here. We'll be running, some tryout races throughout the weeks. Um, so if you are somebody that would like to join, get in contact with us. We'll get on with you at some point and run some races and get you going here in Ruthless Racing. So, yeah, Stu, you can wrap it up. Fucking thanks to everybody that puts us on. It's been a hell of a season, boys. I'm ready for a little break, though.
hey, I hear you. Well, before we wrap anything up, I just want to say, DB, uh, great co-commentator here tonight. Greatly appreciate it. You're welcome up here to commentate any race with me anytime.
I appreciate it, but hopefully next season I'll be on the track more than in the booth. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I know circumstances had you out of this one, or you'd been out there, but nonetheless, you did just as good a job, commentating as you did winning that race at Dega. So.
Well, I appreciate it, and yeah, I'll take that as back-to-back wins, I guess, because I feel like I did pretty good up here myself.
Double dubs there for DB, the best. But yeah, nonetheless, season 2 for the Pro Series is now officially over. Typical is the champion. Henson finishing second, Shepard third, and Hollywood fourth. That was your Ruthless 4. And, ultimately the 5 car, the most ruthless of them all. But don't forget Tuesday, whenever the season 2 officially ends, with the Pro-Am crowning their champion over there. That championship 4 being Sniper, Motorsports Fan, Cork, and Alex? Or am I wrong in that?
You're correct. Let's get some picks. Who are we
Yeah.
all taking?
I'm gonna have to go with. What's the man? That's a tough one to be honest. I'm gonna go motorsports fan.
Oh, okay. DB, who you got?
I'm gonna have to go with Sniper on that one.
Okay. Ty?
Who's the championship for? Sorry.
Sniper, Enel, Alex, and Motorsports.
Yeah, I see.
I got my boy Alex, man.
Okay. Hanson?
Um, kind of a hard pick, but he usually drives the car out. Like I'm gonna go with him.
Oh yeah.
JWoww, who you got?
Middletown, baby.
Oh. You know
There
what,
we
boys?
go.
I kind of want to see Eneltown win because I want another shotgun on broadcast.
I can't lie. I think he's gonna give Sniper a run for his money, so it should be an
Sniper,
interesting race.
Sniper's gonna have a great car. Though I think
I'm gonna say
Hey, you
I
know,
think it's gonna come down to those two at the end.
I look like this race came down to strategy. I feel like it's going to be kind of the same Tuesday. And Motorsports fan, he's won a couple races on the strategy. He's been that lead car on some of these weird pit stops. So,
Hey, don't you count out Enel's pit strategy? He's won a bunch off of it.
oh, I know, he's got his own right, but we'll see. We'll see how it all pans out. I might just win that race. You never know. Hey, but once again, thanks to everybody who watches us here at Ruthless Racing. Don't forget to tune in Tuesday for the Pro-Am Championship. And don't forget, if you really want one of those diecasts, Labor Day is just around the corner. We'll be giving you another chance at another diecast then. So don't forget about that. And, yeah, as always, just thanks to everybody. Thanks to Skew Car. What a great season here in the Pro Series. We're going to have a few weeks break there. We might do some live streams of those tryout races. But nonetheless, I'm going to cut you all loose. It's 11 o'clock Eastern. And, yeah, just rock on, race on. Ruthless Racing.